guys. So I'm coming down to. Oh, I still have 4 minutes, unless Jeff is ready to go. I don't know. Has he popped out? Put up the next channel link. Oh yes, I'm sorry,
On my face.
guys. Oh, thanks, Becky. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, can somebody please put up the link to Jeff and the Tattooed Spirit, because I can't do it right now. I will after this live chat posts, but Russell shuffling through. Yeah, so if Jeff is ready to go, I'm great to turn it over. Don't think he's ready yet. Oh, my poor buddy.
No, I'm here.
He's a little
I'm
technology
here. All
challenged.
right.
So, oh yeah, he's live. Click
I.
on my face when you're ready.
All
All
right.
right, there you go. Click on
Okay.
his face, guys.
Click on my
Much
face.
love. Thanks so much for hanging out, Simon. Love you, sir. Thank you for doing this and being
Woo!
my friend. And just this is just awesome. All right, guys. I'll see you over at. I'll see y'all over at Jeff.
All right. Now, hi guys. Hello, hello, hello. 35 in the house. I am going to click onto my channel so I can have a better job at keeping track of the stream. So just give me a couple minutes. And Jennifer wasn't lying, guys. I am technologically challenged, but I'm willing to bet I can get to my channel no problem. Very exciting. I'm having a ball. Everyone's transferring over. And okay, there I'm live. That's going to be weird, seeing me there. And okay, there I'm live. All right. Okay, so now I got the stream up. Everyone's saying hello. My favorite people on the internet. Krista De Rama. Oh, I can't wait to see her show next. I can't wait to see her show next. All right. Now, I had a quick chat with Jennifer last evening, whenever we were just kind of talking about this sort of thing, technology stuff. And so I'm going to click on her. I'm going to click on her face whenever I see her pop in, and she's just going to act as a little bit of a moderator. And we're just going to kind of get rolling. We're just kind of getting rolling. It's just before the hour, I feel, and I'm trusting the air conditioner timer is going to. Oh, there's Jennifer Ball. Let me see if I can't click on you, Jennifer. How about this? Add moderator. All right. Jennifer Ball is the Tattooed Spirits moderator for the next 90 minutes. And I got to put post-it notes on my head there, guys, because that is just distracting. Hello, Silver Spiral. You always pop in at the right time. I can see my face through these post-it notes. If you guys know me, I go through about, no less than 50 of these every single week. That is exceptionally distracting. I'm going to find another way to do that. I got to cover up my face over here. Okay. Here we are. Okay, so it is 12:30 on the button. She has been wrenched. My buddy Jennifer has been wrenched. So welcome everybody to the Tattooed Spirit offices here in Woodland Hills in Southern California. And it's a beautiful day. But honestly, I've been watching you guys all morning. I missed most of Shane's. I kind of fell asleep there, and I woke up at the end of it whenever he was just kind of leaving his thing. So anyway, I'm completely glad that I'm here. I'm completely thrilled that I'm here. Where am I going to start? I have all my notes. I have all my cards. I have all my post-it notes all over the place. But I just wanted to share with you a little bit about I'm going to be combining my passions with being a hypnotherapist, how I use the tarot cards, my passion for all things spiritual in nature, and kind of the lessons that I've learned in using the cards to empower my clients. Because it was just the morning before I saw in the Facebook stream that Simon was thinking about this idea to put up this 24-hour thing. And I'll show you the actual post-it notes, because I'm famous for the post-it notes. I'm a little bit too bright, and I'm afraid to touch anything because it's going to be blown out. But I'm going to read it to you. This was an idea that it was just a thought, because when I'm working with, number one, I'm a bodywork massage person as well. I do energy stuff like that. So I split my time between my office here doing hypnotherapy, tarot work, consultation like that, and also doing the bodywork massage that I've been for the past 20 years. I've been doing tarot and massage at the same time. So anyway, I like to split my weeks back and forth like that. But back to the point, as the thing goes. I made this post-it note as just I wanted to do a video for the YouTube guys, for you guys, just about what you would want to tell your clients before they came to you. And I think it'd still be a great tag. But this way I get a whole 90 minutes to just sort of explore this in a little bit more in depth. And I'm going to read what I put just before Simon said, what would you like to do on this thing that we're thinking about doing? Because I jumped right in. And it says, do you understand that you are playing an integral part of how your life unfolds? And it's absolutely on my mind during, at some point, most sessions, almost always whenever I'm in tarot session, almost always whenever I'm in a massage session, because people's bodies sort of manifest kind of what's going on with them. And so there's a lot of commentary as well in these sessions where people are feeling very disempowered in their life, that they feel that they can't be happy unless the circumstances that they find themselves in are happy circumstances. And that's absolutely not what my belief system is. And so the world has shown me a completely different reality. So I was hoping to just introduce sort of how I go about things with my clients and bringing in how tarot works with the mind sciences of the law of attraction, which is a fascinating thing. We're going to be getting into that. And as far as understanding how the mind works, as far as the subconscious work that I do with hypnotherapy. Because really to understand how your life is unfolding and what kind of futures that I found that you are attracting at any given moment in time. This is so distracting. Boy, Jennifer, you're not kidding. With those things flying by, I think I lost my space for a second. But anyway, that's my point, is I wanted to bring back the idea that you can sort of be more in control, more empowered, okay? And I'm gonna be talking about how the mind works, and that's gonna help you understand why we feel stuck, and also to bring in the lessons of the tarot. So I'm gonna ask that you guys have a little bit of patience with me, because I'm going to be kind of starting so that it's sort of built logically on top of another as much as I can make it, so that we can understand whenever we get to the tarot aspect of it, then it just sort of makes sense whenever we're talking about the things that we're doing. Annika's here. Fantastic. It is nice seeing everyone chime in. It really is kind of nice. I'm totally thrilled. So feel free to ask questions, but I have to tell you, and this is what I talked to Jennifer about last evening, because I have a concern that I'm not going to be able to get to all the questions. There's going to be plenty of time for questions whenever we're finished. Okay, Winter Nighthare is going to stay as long as she can. So good to see you pull up on that on Jennifer's last stream, so thank you. Right, and so let's get going. Let's just kind of get going. Right, my intention here is just to have you guys feeling more empowered as card readers whenever we're done. And if you read professionally for other people or just for friends and family, that you can give them the sense of pretty much where their future is going and for the reasons why their future happens to be looking the way that it is. We're also going to make a defense for why tarot card is a wonderful divination tool, but why also that's a little bit misleading whenever you understand how the mind works with these kind of aspects of kind of what you're putting out there in your vibration to attract either this kind of future or this kind of future or this kind of future. I am in teacher mode. You're in all ears? Yeah, it's too small. Whoever said that, I am in teacher mode. And I'm going to be in high commentary mode too. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, it's going to seem like I'm talking a lot of mind stuff, but I'm just trying to bring in my experience to make it really exciting for you guys, that whenever we're working with the tarot cards, that I think almost we take for granted that there's so much going on, not only in our subconscious mind, which I'm not going to get too much into that, but how much the ideas that are presented through these cards add to the trajectory of our life, of whether we're going this way or whether we're going this way, and how important it is to communicate like that whenever we're dealing with our clients. Okay? I feel like I am at a tarot conference. Lovely. Okay, great. Go for it, Jeff. Okay, Stephen. Well, here we go. I got plenty of water, and you guys are stuck with me. If I can't pee for the next 90 minutes, you guys aren't peeing either, all right? So just hang with me. I guarantee it's going to pay off at the end. I promise you. I got my buddy Jack Daniel here. If you know me, you know how important this guy is to me. Little side note, a little bit of a story. I know we all know what a skunk smells like as we've driven on the freeways. But I tell you what, until your dog gets sprayed in his face by a skunk, you don't know what a skunk smells like. It happened last night, and we bathed this little guy in tomato juice. You peed already? Okay. I peed like 10 times before this broadcast, so maybe I'm a little bit nervous. But here we go. That's Jack Daniel, minus before all the skunk spray in his face last night. The poor guy was soaking in red tomato juice. I've never smelled that was awful. That poor little guy. It woke me up. It woke me up. Anyway, here we go. So what I would like to tell all of my clients that I read tarot for, and if they come in for any sort of therapy or hypnotherapy, it's, do you understand that you are playing an integral part of your life and how your life is unfolding? So I'll give you a little bit of my story. Some of you have seen some of my videos, but I came into tarot whenever I was at a very low point of my life, where I was dead ass broke, and I really didn't know what was going on with my career, and it was just out of an act of desperation, which is probably, actually, if you think about it, a really good time to really find a brand new way to experience yourself. So I just, by a happenstance of wonderful coincidences, I found money in my pocket that I knew wasn't there. And then I came across a tarot card reader, and I had long since forgotten his name, because this is back in 1997, late 97, I believe. And it wasn't at all what I expected. And I've told this story before in other places, so I'll keep it super brief. Basically, he sat me down, and I wanted to know what's going to happen to me. And he says, that is not how it works, and I can't tell you anyway because I'm not psychic. And that absolutely threw me for a loop, because it's completely not what I expected at all from a tarot card reader. Now, this was at a place called the Bodhi Tree in West Hollywood, and it was known for just being like the little mecca of all of the Los Angeles area, where you just go for like all of this spiritual type of stuff. And so on the little side alley of it, they had the card readers that I had sort of been curious about for a while. And the one card reader that was always fully, completely booked, he just happened to have an opening when I said, I'm at my lowest. I will try anything. I just need to know, is this thing why I'm here in Los Angeles going to work out for me? So I went in, and that's what he told me. He says, I can't tell you. I'm not psychic. I just know what the cards say, and then I get out of the way. And then I just let, as he puts it, he let the archetypes talk to him from the underworld, which I had no idea what the hell, I had no idea what the hell that meant, but it ended up making sense to me, and it ended up being the most profound experience of my life up until that point, because everything that he was telling me about what I was putting out there as far as being where I was in that moment was 100% accurate, and he was getting then from these random images. And I can remember him pulling out this particular card, which is really the basis of this entire talk, guys. It's the basis of this entire talk, is the Magician. And I've studied tarot for a few years. It was literally that day of having this monumental tarot card reading. And I was always fascinated with this card, because I remember specifically this character at the boat. I just called him Gandalf. I don't know if I mentioned that. It doesn't really matter. Because he looked like Gandalf. Long gray beard, long white silk shirt all the way down to his knees. It was really, really cool. This is a custom colored wild feather. It's wild feather. It's custom colored. And so my tarot journey started, and I kind of got sidetracked, like I mentioned in a VR. I wanted to kind of know what was going to happen to me, and it really was misleading for the first number of years, until I sort of came into like new teachers, new mentors. I found Rachel Pollack, which is a wonderful inferential teacher. She just sort of lets you go take her understandings way, way, way off into a new sort of direction. And so that's how I started kind of getting into looking at the cards a little bit differently than how most people do. No, I must say that meeting with all you guys, it's really kind of cool that a lot of you kind of look at the cards as spiritual development. Like Simon in our very first broadcast with this 24-hour awesome tarot-thon, he said this is just all about spiritual development for him, and he's starting a new practice at a pub or a thing at a pub, which is awesome. But that's really, I think, at the crux of how you can create a certain future for yourself. So let's really kind of get into it right now. We've all talked about and we've all had these discussions and we've all had these tags where is it like inevitable whenever you get this card thing, or is it more like this dynamic aspect of like life where you actually play a part? Is it Newtonian, or is it like non-local or some sort of quantum, sort of like you have influence? And I think that most of us could agree that it's definitely a little bit of both. But over my experience, and especially most especially after I became a hypnotherapist and began to see the lives changing of the clients who you work with on the level of emotions, I believe it's a third, even more powerful component of how tarot works, beyond just is it like a Newtonian, what's going to happen to me, what's the answers in the deck, what is my future going to be. And it's more than just I have a little bit of a part of it with this thing called willpower. It's how we put our emotions into our vibration that the world reacts to. We're going to get into belief systems and how thoughts turns into belief systems a little bit later. But this is the part where I really think it's kind of interesting for those people who don't really understand how hypnotherapy works, why it's so effective, is to understand how the mind works. And whenever you understand how the mind works, it's easier to understand why you get stuck, why you just get stuck, or why you get on a positive train and you just kind of keep on going. So thank you for indulging me in this time where I begin to really talk about my first passion is mind therapy with my spiritual hypnotherapy business, before we get into the actual tarot work. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a diagram. I just dropped my big pencil here. And just basically, I call this just basically the theory of the mind, really kind of like how the mind operates. I may have to adjust that. This may be just a little bit too bright. Do I see any questions yet? I don't think so, and that's good, because that's going to be, Jeff, something brought you to the tarot. You better believe that something brought me to the tarot. It was a terrible time in my life. All right, so here we go. Let's just assume this circle kind of means like the accumulated power of your mind, okay? And so by the time that we're born, let's just call that 0, to about the time that we're like 8, 9, 10, some people say, 11, 12, that's my little 8 there. All you do is bring in associations, and this has a lot to do with how we're brought up. Now, let's start here. The first part of your mind is basically like this primitive area of the mind that we all have, right, guys? That's that fight and that's that flight. That's whenever you're in full-on hypnosis. That's on full-on alpha theta brainwave where you're just reaction and you're overstimulated. That's like survival stuff. So we're all born with that. So if we're born and we develop a fear or a phobia or a blockage, anything other involving this fear of the fighting and flighting, then it can be unlearned because we've learned it. And we're going to talk about that right now. So between the time that you're born to about 8, 9, 10, 11, like I said, you just bring in associations from those around you, okay? Let's just talk about what my biggest clientele comes to me for with spiritual hypnosis is to increase their abundance, to increase the flow of currency in their life. And it's so easy to see just in the conversation and the words that they choose, kind of where we're headed anyway. And we're going to get into that later as far as the importance of words. Let me make a little note there, just in case that slips my mind. So these associations, we're all brought up in this very impressionable time when we're very young, where we witness people thinking like, money doesn't grow on trees, you know what I mean? Or those people that have that really big house, they must have done something wrong to be able to do that. And it's nice, yes, to have money to pay for things, but you only pay for things that you need, that you don't want. If you want something, you got to put that on hold. It's all about what need, but it's nice to put needs in the, away. So you have all these associations, people saying, I don't want to give them the money, I don't have the money. All of these things just add up to all of these little associations. Some really good about money because there's really great things about it. Some and a lot about negative. If you're struggling with money now, there's a lot of these negative associations. So this just basically becomes your life script where your reality is reflected in your belief system within your, basically we can call this your subconscious mind. And you can call this about 88% of your mind's power is just completely subconscious, absolutely completely subconscious. And we're going to find out why this is easy to change, but yet it's the hardest thing in the world to change. But here we go right there. Later on, as you develop a little bit, guys, you develop this thing called like the critical mind. We'll just call it the CM. And that still allows things to influence what's down here, what's creating your life, how you're seeing opportunities, or more likely not seeing opportunities or viewing things in a new way. That protects this. So a new idea will come in and that'll just kick it right out. So up here, we have your conscious mind, and that's about 12% of your mind's power. It's very, very little because the subconscious, where your emotions are held, that is carrying how your life is going to unfold. So we have this logicking aspect, the logic aspect, It's logical that you would make more money, that you want to make more money. It's logical that you should make more money because you've been alive so live, and you've seen other people sort of increase their income. So it's logical that you should do that too. Another part of your conscious mind is your decision-making skills. And that's all about, you could just make a decision that I'm going to just find a better job. I can find a better job, okay? You can make that decision. Your analytical skills means chances are you're running the numbers. Every other people that you see that you want to be like, they have more money than you. You can have your analytical, conscious mind come together with that. And then you can have your willpower. And willpower is probably, guys, the most overrated aspect that you could possibly ever have. And I see it in the therapy offices every single day that I'm here because everybody goes to bed thinking tomorrow is when I start my diet. Tomorrow is whenever I really get serious about some new aspect of my life that I want to change. But why these things pale in comparison to your life script idea being prompted by your willpower to just say, I'm going to start working out tomorrow. I got to find a better job. There better be opportunities out there. I have to find opportunities. And the critical mind says, yeah, but if you do, you become one of those bad people that you were told that has more money. Or yeah, you may want that, but it's really, really, really hard to make more money, right? And so your critical mind just kicks it right out. It takes a brand new idea. It says, that's not what you have going on down here, and it kicks it out, okay? Now, it's really important to know that the purpose of your subconscious mind, where your emotions are, is to keep you safe. And for all intents and purposes, what is familiar is what is safe. That's really what it is. It doesn't matter whether it's wanted or not, because we all want more abundance in this particular example, or we all want to be able to fly in a lot of my examples, or we all want to be not afraid of spiders in other examples that I see here. But it just is order to keep this the safe, because if it's unfamiliar, then that means it could be unsafe. Having more money, believe it or not, to your subconscious mind means it's unsafe because it's so unfamiliar to you. That's why mostly people of certain incomes come from people of certain incomes, which come from people of certain incomes, and people of other massive incomes or very, very low incomes, they all come from pretty much the same stream until radical change happens. And we're going to talk about radical change through the tarot in a little bit, okay? So what hypnosis is and how the mind works is this. In hypnosis, we're not going to be doing a whole thing on it, but this is how your mind works. When you can bypass this critical mind, when you can bypass it, when you can make a tunnel and have access to create these changes with new affirmations, with new ideas, with other suggestions, with actual factual data, then you begin to change your life script. So what is this thing called hypnosis? What is this thing called accepting a new idea? And the best way that I can explain that is just every time that you go to a movie, or every time you go to a theater show, or anytime you're reading a book that you can't wait to get to the next page, or anytime you see other people acting on the street and it affects you in a certain way, your mind, your brain, really the processing plant, it enters this state called the brainwave state of the alpha theta crossover. That's where the alpha turns into the theta, and kind of before you fall off to sleep. So you believe the movies, right? When you're in the state of hypnosis, when you're suggestible. So there's nothing scary about hypnosis. There's nothing scary or weird or odd what I do here in the therapy chair there across the way. I just get people in this suggestible state like they're watching a movie. Because if you think about it, if you're in a movie, you could be pulling yourself out all the time and just say, you know what, this is just a movie, these are just actors. But it's more fun to be engaged. It's more fun to have your emotions reacting to you. Whenever the dinosaurs are chasing that poor little family and your heart's racing, you know that where your emotions are evolved and involved, then you are on full-on hypnosis. So that's changing the belief systems that is sort of rolling your life. We're going to get into how tarot operates that in just a little bit. But that's what I do here, and that's how I incorporate making life changes and finding new pathways and bringing in new futures to my clients, and how you can do it too. Now, this is the little talk time. I should probably slow down. 90 minutes seems like a hell of a long time, doesn't it? 90 minutes seems like a long time. I don't know. I'm going to take a sip of water. But we're going to talk about affirmations and why some affirmations are great and why they work and why most affirmations are just a complete waste of time. And we'll just keep on this same topic of just abundance and currency just because it's so popular. It's so popular. Here we go. So affirmations. The really good affirmations, how you know that it works is because it affects your emotions. It affects your emotions because the right affirmation will feel true, which is why you can't lie to your critical mind. You can't lie to it. So if I were to say an affirmation, if I wanted to be a millionaire, and if you do the typical sort of the old Saturday Night Live affirmation where the guy's talking in the mirror and stuff like that, you guys remember that stupid skit? And he's like, you are beautiful, you are amazing. But if you look in a mirror and just say, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire. If it doesn't affect your emotions, where your subconscious mind interacts with your spirit, basically, then it's not going to take hold. But for the same aspect of wanting to be a millionaire, you could use a different affirmation, like people who are millionaires now. There are some people who are millionaires now that started off exactly where I am today. Now, just hearing that, if you guys heard it the way I heard it, there is a bit of truth to that. It rang true. That's how you begin to change this. That's why some affirmations work, but so few people use them correctly because they say it thinking that the words are going to have some effect. When you, like the witchy people, are doing your spells and doing a lot of fun in your garage and having all this stuff with crystals and stuff, when you believe and you engage your emotions into casting a spell or saying, this is what I'm going to do with my business, and it affects you, then you're beginning to make these changes, all right? So that is really the power of emotions, and then that's whenever it gets in the power of your thoughts, all right? That's whenever the tarot comes into play. That's whenever the power of the tarot comes into play. Now, I thought a lot of people did a really great job kind of giving an overview of the tarot and the structure. Kelly from Truth and Story, it was wonderful just to hear her talking about stuff that I was so familiar with, but in a new way. But the way I look at it, maybe this will be so old news for you, but whenever I came across this connection for me with how the tarot works with the thoughts and emotions, to be able to create change and to predict where you're going to go, I really think you guys are going to find some value, and which is why I'm so glad to have this process. It starts off with the idea, the premise, the thought, and I've been thinking it so much it's just turned into a belief, that tarot readings and tarot predictions are real, 100%. But it's really just a small aspect of why tarot works predictively as like a divinatory tool. And the example I use for that with my clients whenever they're so curious about it, or how I try to explain it to my parents whenever they don't know what the hell I'm doing here in the office most of the days, is that if I was in the passenger seat of your car and we had a big, ginormous like a parking lot, and you were behind the driver's seat, and you turned your wheel all the way to the right, and you gassed up a little bit, maybe 30 feet, and then you hit stop, and then you turn to me and you say, okay, Mr. Fortune Teller, where am I going to end up in the future? I'm going to be able to identify the patterns of you having the wheel turned all the way, and if you hit the gas, if you continue along your path, you're eventually going to end up in the exact same space. So that, to me, is how tarot has proven to work. Now let's take it a little bit deeper. All right, did I skip anything on that? No. Let's move on. So let's talk about the structure of the deck in this way. I really hope you guys get this. Okay, we have the 4 different suits. Okay, we have the 4 different suits. We have our thinking suit, we have our feeling suit, we have our doing suit of wands, and then we have where all of those things manifest. Where, if you want to look at it, do these 3 components come to life in your world, this earth? It comes to place in the earth, which is why I believe most people think that this is the earth suit, the coins. Someone's talking about past life hypnosis. That's magnificent. I'll happily answer questions about that. I got stories for days, guys. So feel free to ask me a question about past life. How do you like that visual? How do you like that? This is state of the art, Grun. State of the art. I mean, no one else has this. No one else has this. But believe it or not, when I pull this chart out for my clients, whenever they're coming in for serious, they want to make changes, and they know that I work tarot therapy, and they just had this thing about, I thought tarot cards just predicted what's going to happen to me. I say, yes, they do, but this is why. Because whenever you're thinking a certain way about a subject, you have an associated thought about it. Wait a second, that's right. No, when you're thinking a certain way about a subject, you have an associated thought. I got a little confused with the backwards action right here, okay? So all of your emotions, where your subconscious can be affected, where you can change your life script that's playing over and over and over again, the key is to be very guarded with your thoughts, just like how we picked that perfectly worded affirmation about millionaires once started where I was and then became millionaires. That's possible then. Maybe I could be one too. That feels right. It has everything to do with the swords suit. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Now, we're going to be going back to this chart because I think this is the most brilliant thing in the world. And it really, what's the most important thing, and Kelly from The Truth and Story said this. God, I hope I got the name right on that because I don't often watch her channel. But I am now after seeing her live thing, that's for sure. The most important thing about this is she says that every single card that you can pick, if this is a swords, you can tell what is going on with your doing. In fact, in that particular card, in this 8 of Swords, you're not actually doing anything. You can also find out what you're feeling from where any sword suit is going to cross over. And the other way around, if you're feeling a certain way about a card, you can also find out what you must be thinking about that card, right? And how you must be going about your life like that, all right? And then obviously with the coin suit is the manifestation of all these things that you're sort of putting in your vibration. We can look at this stuff like the vibration, okay? So there we go like that. So that leads into the importance of, you're going to write that down, it's a great chart. It's actually going to be on my website. But that leads us to the importance of thoughts. And it really gives us to the only aspect, because I foo-fooed willpower, right? I absolutely foo-fooed it, because whenever you consider the power of your willpower, it pales in comparison to, well, what you got going on. And I see it, people here all the time, they get stuck in habits for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, and they just can't get out of it because they haven't found the right thought, they haven't found the right idea, the right suggestion, the right card to understand, so that they can then reframe, begin to change that script that is playing over and over and over, that why they can't find the right relationship. If you think relationships are hard, if you think relationships aren't easy to maintain and it's hard to find someone that's really wonderful, then that's gonna propel you, and you're gonna end up in the therapist seat, and we're gonna have to go down. It's the same idea of just how powerful your thought is about any subject. That leads me to the next wonderful visual aid. This is the emotional guidance scale. I've done a few. 4 a.m. where Miss Tracy 2 is. Good Lord, girl, go to bed. Although I got up at 2 and stayed up until 5:30, I think. It's been a wonderful day with you guys. Wonderful day. But this is the emotional guidance scale. You guys may be or may not be familiar with this, but let me just explain what this is in case you're not, because it's your most powerful tool, believe it or not, yet, as a tarot reader. And if you want to help your clients create change and not just tell them you're going to end up in the same place in the parking lot that you started if you keep on doing what you're doing, which has value, but maybe they don't want to end up in the same spot. Maybe they want to actually turn, but they don't want to, they don't know how to turn. So this is your most valuable tool in the world, the emotional guidance scale. And what this is it's just, it is a long list. It's a long list, like 22 or 25 or something like that, of emotions that can be affected down there so you can get yourself out of ruts. Now, let me talk a little bit more about this. I'm going to hold it up, and I'm not expecting you guys to copy it down. If you wanted to, you could go to tattooedspirit.com and go to the resources tab and just print up my own special copy. It's not this cool ass black one because you'll have no printer ink left by the time you're done, but it's a nice crystal clear design, or you can just look it up on the internet or whatever. I'm supposed these things are all over the place. But it's really, really wonderful because each one of these emotions is associated with a thought. Because when you think a thought, you have a feeling about it. And what we're doing is we're talking about this right here. We're talking about when you think a thought, you have an emotion. And if you want to feel better, if you want to project a better future for yourself, then you have to find a better feeling thought. Because this is just something that The Secret, that it's so unfortunate that Secret movie came out the way that it did, because it talks about the law of attraction in a way that seemed like it was more mysterious and wonderful, like wondrously like mystical or something. But there's actually a real science when you're into the quantum field dynamics about vibrations matching up and creating new realities and being able to take examples. And please remember to ask me for examples at the end, because I get so excited to talk about how the quantum world, with the changing of your thought, creates a new measurable outcome. It's very, very, very interesting. And this is the key. Back to this emotional guidance scale. Let's just take an example right now. You know what, do I want to do this? Yeah, let's just do this. Just to take an example, this is how, because I want to start bringing in tarot, because I don't want to bore you guys. I'm a tarot artist. I love drawing new little things like this. And so let me just use the traditional Rider-Waite. The idea of projecting into the future. You can pull this card. If this card happens to come up in a reading, and you're reading for someone like you guys know who do a lot of relationship readings or professional readings at all, it's relationships or career are the two big heavy hitters in business. You know what I mean? The business money aspect. So when this card comes up, you can lay that down and just have a conversation with your client about it. And depending on where they are on this scale, that is how they are going to think and interpret about this card. If you lay this wonderful Four of Cups down and just say, this is your situation around relationships. Now you tell me what's going on here. If they're down here, somewhere around discouragement, or somewhere around worry, or somewhere down here about angry that they're alone, anything like that, that's exactly how they're going to interpret this card. Of it. And your point of focus is what future that you are attracting to you. So if you don't get ahead of your game, if my imaginary client doesn't start to climb a little bit, right? Biologically tested thoughts, that your muscles get stronger. These are muscle tested in this list. So at the very top of the list, your muscle is strong because your body, your brain is producing happy chemicals, strong chemicals. Your muscles are being fed whenever you're feeling and thinking like this. When you're down here and you're feeling bad, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling kind of like crap, your body gets weak. This is what chiropractors use whenever they want to know, a lot of chiropractors use this, when they want to know if a certain supplement's going to be good for you. They'll have you hold out your arm and push it down. If it goes down really quick, it is not a good supplement for you. When you have a thought thinking that like, I'm powerless in this situation, it is literally the weakest that you can be. That's down here. And it goes stronger, 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 stronger. Okay, so I really wanted to point out to you the measurable, quantifiable fact of this particular chart because it's the real deal. This is where the woo-hoo, think positively and your life is going to be positive, really becomes real. And we can talk quantum physics later, but you just have to trust me that positive people have good things going for them. If the person comes in and they want a relationship reading and you say, look, what would you say about this particular card in relation to your, you know what I mean, like relationship, and they're positively focused, if they have positive expectation, if they're optimistic, if they're hopeful, they're going to read this exact same card and they're going to say, well, I've gone through all the other ones, the one is left. I know, just the one is coming next. Oh, thank God I went through all the frogs. Oh, my queen is coming. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's really, really good. Okay, what's this? What is it? What was that last thing? Willow Wind had a question. Why does it seem like the majority of the scale is negative? So little is positive. Just how life teaches us? Well, life isn't here to teach us at all, but life is here to, well, yeah, it's here to teach us that we have the power to change. There's no real other reason. But because these are in such small increments, you'll be able to climb them up really, really quick. And let me just use the example, just using our imaginary friend. It's like the iceberg perspective. Hypnotherapy, Miss Tracy, too, is sometimes considered like the iceberg, where what's really going on is under the surface. And you can think about and try to understand and try to use your conscious mind to get to the bottom of why I don't have a relationship yet. But it's really like what you got going down there, right? If you think relationships are hard, or your parents had a hard time and you were the victim of like a bad circumstance in a house, and you're trying to find a happy relationship, you're going to have to do some climbing up the scale to be able to get there. So let's just use this example of my fictional client right here, who first look at it like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll never find the one because I'm just focused. If she interprets this, if her vibrational tone, guys, is way down low, down here, like feeling despair and all this stuff like this, it's gonna take some time for her to get up there. But here's the thing, and this is why tarot is empowering, and it's not anything less, is because when you use your own willpower to change your thought to feel better, that's whenever you feel better, literally, so the benefit is there, but you begin to see new opportunities. For relationships, you meet new people. Now let's absolutely go through the scale. Let's climb the scale with our imaginary client, just so you have an idea of how to use this. So a person says, I'll just go through it again because I'm losing track a little bit, guys. This is streaming so quick, man. It's so absolutely. My door's open to all the great tarot peeps. Oh, Jezebel, I'm coming. We're coming next weekend. I'm assuming you're meaning staying at your house. I'm cool with that. So look, so someone's really, really kind of not feeling great about relationships and they're feeling completely dissatisfied, okay? And you say, is that how you're feeling? You pull out your scale or you have them look at it. And you say, you know what, I'm just feeling just powerless. I don't know what else to do. I did every website. I bump into everyone. I try to call everybody I can. But their earth suit is just showing them alone, okay? Their coins are coming up or any other associated card is just saying that they're just so low, and that's how they feel. Then you begin to use sort of like a little bit of, I don't know, like thought play that changes their subconscious mind, that changes how they are creating their life in a moment because they're creating a new vibration by going like this. Okay, so you feel like you've tried everything, right? Okay. Was there any way that you can feel just unworthy of a relationship because of that? Because maybe if you look at it like that, maybe it's just there's something wrong with you. And you would probably be able to get them to agree with that. And here's the thing, the most important thing about this scale, guys, is to feel a better feeling thought does not have to feel better. But as they're climbing from powerlessness to just feeling unworthy of a relationship, their brain is producing chemicals because they're choosing a thought that feels slightly better to make their muscles more stronger. In that moment alone, you change their trajectory. Probably it's going to end up alone for a while, to use this example, but it's not going to be feeling so alone because you're just going to be feeling unworthy and not powerless. And then from there, you just sort of guide them, or you have them show them how you use this scale and just say, so whenever, with the jealousy is the next step. So the next step, And you can try to jump 2, you can try to jump 3. We'll talk about if you try to jump too far. But you say, have you ever seen those people at the park and they're always hugging and cussing and they're kissing and they're just posting on Facebook all the really fun things they're doing with their relationship and stuff. I said, doesn't that make you jealous? I mean, that's okay to feel jealous. I mean, everyone seems to be happy in relationships, but that's jealousy, right? That's going to be easy to get them to agree and to change what's going on in their subconscious mind to feel a little bit better. And now I mind you again, not to feel good, guys. It's about feeling better. And then you take another one up there. Maybe you just want to take a couple jumps up there. I said, well, doesn't that make you angry at all? Because it seems like everyone else, no one's real more prettier than you or more handsome than you. No one's really, making more money than you. It just doesn't seem angry that life is sort of working out for this, that you're alone and you can play to this because you just want to get them up the scale to feel better. That you're alone, doesn't that make you get angry? And you can probably get them to choose a better feeling thought to feeling angry. And that's just like, isn't there, like, who can you blame for this? And just say, who do you blame? Is it your parents because they gave you bad role models? And they'll jump right in on that one. Yeah, exactly. Or your friends who always talk shit about your ex-boyfriends and ex-boyfriends, so I never felt secure in bringing them around. So yeah, it's my friend's fault. Now again, blaming and feeling worried that you're not going to find somebody and actually doubting that you're going to find somebody, to you and me, sounds like all the same. But to their physiology, guys, to the trajectory that they're literally changing their life, they are feeling better. Their muscles are getting stronger, more positive neuropeptides, more increased levels of dopamine, because believe it or not, there's dopamine down there, bad feeling thoughts. They are feeling better and getting better. And this is really good when you do a before tarot reading and an after tarot reading, because it's outrageous off the charts. And then you go, well, just, as far as just being doubtful, because you can just take them up and up and up and up. Aren't you just disappointed that you've been so lonely for so long? And they'll probably just say, yeah, that's an easy jump. Now, if you were to just say, if they were starting down here and just saying, isn't it just disappointing that you're alone? They'd be like, go to hell. No. No, it's too far of a jump. That's like meeting like the happiest person in the world whenever you're feeling down here. And they're like, oh, come on, great, everything's great. Oh, you know what, you should be hopeful, because when you're hopeful, things begin to open up for you. And so your subconscious mind and your critical mind is just saying, you can go straight to hell. It gets kicked right out, because what is familiar, what the life script is slowly being changed, but it's just not being changed that high. It's just not being changed that high. And so you keep on going. I don't want to belabor this point. I certainly could, but it's the most fascinating thing to do whenever you start your readings with someone who wants to get into a relationship, or why is my subconscious battling with me getting into a relationship, or just it comes up in a tarot card reading that they interpret this card as, I just can't find it. I just can't find what I'm missing. I have these other things, but what I really want, that's what this card means. When you take them through to be able to change a thought that makes them change how they feel, they start doing things differently when their physiology changes, guys. And before you know it, they're looking at this card, the exact same card, after you walk them up this scale, and they're just thinking, you know what? It's really closer to me than I thought, isn't it? And I say yes. And in that very moment, rather than sticking to the first reaction of just saying, yep, all you have is your past, you take them through this process and they leave empowered. Isn't that fantastic? Jeff, you were doing all this in one session. What is this? Jeff, you were doing all this in one session. Or is it a longer process? It takes 5 minutes, guys. I'm belaboring the point, but to walk somebody up this scale takes 5 minutes. I just did it for you guys, but there's a video on my playlist somewhere. I think it's just called Tarot Fun, where I talk a client of mine, and I asked him if I could record it, and he's really strong politically believed, and I just it's the one from a little skull ring. If you guys see it, it's the one from a little skull ring. If you look at my playlist, and it just gives you another example, because I promise you I could do this for the next hour and a half. Okay, it's just showing you how you choose a little bit of a better feeling thought. So anyway, I just take him. That's another example because I take him for just being angry at all this political stuff and those people. You know, the other side is wrong and blah blah blah. Into really just being really really okay. That in the next 3 years, 4.5 years, at least he'll get his way again. You know what I mean? The other side is going to probably switch out whenever this guy is done. Okay, and so I took him just down from here because he was down here, guys. He was like hating everyone that believed differently politically than him. And I knew the guy for years. He was a tarot client for so long, and I had him in for therapy. I had to help him quit smoking and all this stuff. But he had this thing where his hatred towards the other side politically just kept him absolutely stuck. And so that was really, really, it's an interesting thing. This is the most powerful school, guys. Or it's about, well, school, whatever. The most powerful tool, the emotional guidance scale. So I think Jennifer put my website on there. It's a free copy. Or like I said, just Google it, check it out. And a lot of people use it for different ways, but whenever you use it for tarot, it's absolutely magnificent. All right. So what, exactly. Okay. So now we get even more into the breadth of creating a new sort of life on purpose. And this is sort of another little post-it note that I want to write that I wanted to sort of tell everyone before they come to the office. I said, almost you can always do it. I used to, before I got into spiritual hypnotherapy and using the cards in my session, I just used to do straight up hypnotherapy. I'm talking with the suit and everything before we came to these offices here. And I would draw the cards before my client came in because he was not attracted to his wife anymore, or just name anything. I saw everything and everything. And so I would just draw the cards before just to kind of give me a little, what's this guy, what's going on? And the patterns that were evolving with so many people that were feeling stuck in so many ways is that they had to have to be paradigm not reversed. And let me just explain what that means. Let me just reframe it. And this goes into this choosing the right kind of thought, choosing the right kind of affirmation that's going to change to bring you an entire different future with this quantum world, this holographic universe we live in. Every option is available to us, but whenever you understand that, whenever you get to the better feeling thought, then new opportunities, you can find a better person, you can find a better money, you can do whatever the hell you want. Trust me, I mean, come on, it's a fantastic life. So let me talk about the be, do, have scenario. Okay, let me write this down. A lot of people think that if I love Post-it notes. I'm going to use them. You guys are going to probably hate me by the end of this, but I love Post-it notes, man. A lot of people think that if I have, let's go back to the first money thing, guys, because it's so much of my business. If I just have more money, then I will do my life in a certain way. And then after that, then I'll be happy. That's what they want. They want the end game first. They're not willing to do the work to change their focus of attention, okay? But whenever we're finished, this is another very powerful tool to have your clients leaving your tarot office or having your family, for just throwing cards for them, leaving and just with a brand new trajectory into their life. Whenever you understand that it's the exact opposite. If you want to be happy because of more money, you have to find a way to just be happy. And whenever you are happy, guys, whenever you're happy, where the hell's my excellent chart? Whenever you just be happy with feeling better, you're going to find yourself just doing things differently. Whenever you're happier, regardless of how much money you have, you change the right, or you find the right affirmation like we talked about, you find yourself doing life differently. And then you find out that you have it. Then you find out that you're in the earth suit of having the being suit. I kind of got confused because you guys are absolutely, there's absolutely so much stuff going on. And I so apologize. I know I'm missing questions, but I'm even more excited for the question and answer session whenever we're done. Okay, so let me recap because I apologize, I got distracted. People come in feeling unempowered because they think if I have more money, then I'll do my life a certain way, then that will make me happy. Then I'll be happy. But whenever you introduce to them, because we all want a better relationship, we all want better jobs, we all want we all want something better. That's the natural course of the universe. You got to find a way to be that now. You'll find that's changing your entire wands suit, and they're going to end up changing basically your entire coin suit with just absolutely having what it is that you're already being. And that's projecting away from the feedback that you're getting, right? We've talked about this, obviously. We know what the magician card is, but I'd like to just have you show what is kind of like how I look at what's going on. This is what this whole 90 minutes is all about, guys, is to be the magician. Because as I said before in my little things that I do and in my classes over there, you don't need to come from the right sort of pedigree of family to just really, really get wealthy or to find happy relationships, just the two biggest ones. We might as well just keep on sticking with that. All you need is your emotions, your thoughts, and what you do. And take the feedback of the coin suit, the earth suit, what the earth is showing you about what you're putting out there in your vibe to manifest these things. That's all you need. And that brings me to a really interesting point, and it's really fascinating, that no matter what you see, just for the time that it takes for the light to get from that object to you, it's already old news. All right? So every time that you're perceiving the world as it is, all these realists, thank God there's no realists here because we're talking in a tarot group, but any realist is probably the most frustrating thing in the world because they just want to tell you what is, right? They just want to tell you that's not the way it is. But whenever you have people like us together to commune like this, we're like, yeah, but how could it be? You know what I mean? That is really what it's about. People that are realists bore me to freaking tears, and I cannot last in a relationship or even a conversation with them, because if they're just consumed with just reverberating and regurgitating and just talking about what has already been manifested in the earth, what that coin suit represents in this dude's table, then it's just, what the hell is the use of even talking about it? You know what I mean? My soul card is the magician. Tammy, you better believe it, man. You better believe it. All of ours are, I think, intended to be this magician. You know what I mean? Whenever we realize that we can use our emotions and our thoughts in this way, that are going to lead and really be inspired to these actions. I get people all the time. I mean, we have a great practice here with this mind bar thing we're doing here in the Woodland Hills. We have different therapists here, and I'm like the spiritual hypnosis guy. My wife is the past life regression person. Of course, you know her animal passion as well. We're very busy with all of that. But she's the past life, and then we have the like the addiction guy is next to me. He's actually my mentor through hypnosis, and but what we do is we're belief system modifiers. We get you to just change what you believe because you've been looking at the same shit for so long that you're saying that that's what it is. We get you to literally forget what the hell you're looking at, and we give you new opportunities that begin to have you think for yourself that what could be more than what you already have now. All right? So this is really, really great. This is really, really great. So I told you how you can see in your clients straight away by just showing them in whatever card it is. How about this wonderful Eight of Wands right here? You give them this card, someone who's really depressed is just saying everything is just coming to an end. If you give them a little bit of a description, everything's just, ending, and of course it's going down. I feel down, you know what I mean? But somebody else is coming up at the higher end of the scale. After you're done talking them up the scale, guys, they're like, well, what the hell's next? I'm like, okay, if this thing's ending, that's fine, but there's got to be something better. Or maybe this is coming down to me like a foreign foundation, and maybe if I look here, then I'm looking back up, and my God, I bet that's like the coolest thing to be able to do. Like, you can't imagine how people change their own perception and indeed the trajectory of their life by you using this emotional guidance scale. It's the most powerful tool as a therapist and as a tarot card reader that you have, guys. It is just ridiculous. Where else am I going to go with this other than a drink? Jennifer, while I get a drink, is there a particular question that stood out for you that you wanted to send? Because I'm sure there were dozens. And I kind of hope, not that we can keep track, I might just scroll real fast after we get to the ending point. The gratitude. I heard someone say real quick about the gratitude practice. You better believe it. Because whenever you're feeling gratitude towards anything, where'd my beautiful scale go? whenever you're feeling anything up here of appreciation, I mean, gratitude and appreciation. Actually, appreciation is more of a verb, right? Appreciation feels like a verb for me, where gratitude is like being thankful for something that already is, which is cool. I think we all should all be grateful for what is, but when you appreciate it and you bring that energy of just like the wands, the fire into gratitude, I think that's why that's at the top of the list. Whoever made that. That's really, I really think that's, I think that's why that's at the top of the list. So Jennifer, do we have any questions? You've missed quite a few. I'm sure that I did. I'm sure that I did. Well, let's continue to talk a little bit, maybe for another 15 minutes, and then we'll take the last 15 minutes. My question about lizard brain. You talking about the primitive mind? I don't know much about lizard brains. Whoever said that. That's hilarious. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so we got a troll. That's cool. Obviously, someone doesn't know me very well. Let's not feed the trolls, guys. Jennifer, do your thing. All right, so here we go. Moving on. Right, so here we are. Yeah, that's right. I did mention, so right now is where we are, is to be able to think ahead about what we desire. That's that whole be, do, have, to be grateful for something that you don't already have. Every great master did this. I think it's incredibly powerful to do what the masters did. For years, I was brought up Catholic, like Roman Catholic. And every Sunday, whenever we would do the readings, whenever I heard the reading, I was actually a lector, I was an altar boy, I did the whole thing, guys. They had always said that the master, I say Master Jesus now, but they say Jesus was, he always gave thanks before he did something completely kick-ass, you know what I mean? And that never made sense to me, why Jesus just gave thanks, because it was so undefined in the scriptures. He gave thanks, and then he did something amazing. And I believe that this is what he was doing, was being grateful for it before it even happens. And to study the law of attraction, I got certifications and love like lots of hours of experience. But whenever you can be grateful for something that you are asking for or intending, that's the best prayer you can have. And I think that's why every master did it. I really, really do. So anyway, that's I'm glad I caught that, whoever said that. So yeah, being grateful, or even better, being appreciating of something actively now, what's happening right now, especially if you're looking forward, like I want to grow this thing, I want to grow my business a certain way. So I'm just going to be like that right now. I'm just going to put that in my vibration. I'm just going to meditate. We're going to get into how we kind of use these cards with meditation and stuff. And then you just kind of you literally create that future. It changes your trajectory. And when we do a law attraction session, guys, in the chair, you just get the person really, really relaxed, really, really focused, deep down into that alpha theta brainwave crossover, and you just imagine yourself. You're thankful, you're appreciating that thing that you're desiring, right? And so that becomes your life script. So to your subconscious mind, to what's happening, regardless of whether you want it to or not, it is absolutely true. It is absolutely right for you. So whenever you want to find a better relationship, you're out there and you got a new program out there just saying relationships are easy. Whoa, who's that? I never noticed that before. Or money is so, if I'm sitting about where I want to take Tattoo Spirit, trust me, I'm going to be able to afford anything that I want. And I take plenty of time in my meditation just thinking, what's the next hot rod? Oh my God, this is so amazing. And you just really do what the secret was trying to do, but missed the mark so much. But to feel and change what is happening in your life script that keeps all that shit that you want away from you, bam, guys, I'm telling you, it's magnificent. It's magnificent. And if you want referral clients for your tarot card practice, guys, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You leave your clients feeling empowered. And if they want to say, is this, does this boy like me? Or, if I ask this girl out, is she's going to say, yes or no? Then it would be, I would strongly suggest to reframe. Just say, well, let's find out first, before we get to your thing, why is it so important for you that you have to know now? And then you pull a card, and then you say, what does this card mean to you if this means your chances with this girl? And then they come in really, really low. Then you talk them up. And then before you know it, they're not even interested because they say, I'll just ask her out. If she says no, I don't care. I'll move on. And you're like, did tarot just do that? Yes. Yes, it did. Tarot cards just did that. All right, so where are we going now? Well, I was a little bit afraid that this time was going to kind of creep along, but it is kind of moving pretty, it is kind of going pretty quick. So here we go. Let's talk, yeah, and so that goes into my, thank you so much, Creative Coffee. I love your comments on my page. Thank you so much. What's this, a Shelby GT 500? My next hot rod is, oh, that'll work. I'm okay with that. Reminds me of my brother. Oh, that must be me. Oh, ding, thank you. Krista Lirama. 12:31:32. No, this ends at 2, right? I saw Krista Lirama going. Meditation. Let's talk about meditation. Before we get to meditation, let's talk about, again, phrasing the question. I hit upon this, but to phrase the question in a more empowered way that creates better conversations, that changes how your clients are feeling, that changes their subconscious mind, that they don't even have to be aware of that they're making these changes subconsciously. It is best to phrase a question, in my experience, to say, what is so about a situation? You know what I mean? What I said. Not like, is this girl going to say yes if I ask her no? Just say, what is so about if she did? What is so if she didn't? And then compare the two. So asking that question is so empowering to your clients, no matter what they want to know. Start the question, what is so? And then the tarot really becomes what I believe it was intended for, and that is like a descriptive tool. And yes, it's divinatory. Yes, it's going to tell you where you're going, but if you're not going to go where you want to go, then you want to know the description of what the hell is going on that's not getting you where you want to go. Krista Dorama, are you getting ready? Are you as nervous as you are now than I was before I started? My heart was pounding. I've done hundreds of these damn videos. Feels like it anyway. So here we go. Let's get into really using these cards in a session even further. Okay, I'm getting my Instagram photos too, man. Someone's following me. I don't even know what the hell to do with that Instagram thing. Okay, so yeah, that's how you can use the cards. I'm going to go down, and then Simon, I am going to get how to get to. Yeah, I know, right? Exhausted, because I like I said, I was up so early too. I was shaking too in this morning. Yet I do it weekly. You're a pro, Simon. Simon, you're a pro. Simon's ready for his close-up all the time. So, okay, I showed you how you just pull a card and you say, what do you feel about this? You know what I mean? What do I feel about this? And then just have them with another spread, rather than doing that. I know I'm distracted and I am exhausted. Is just say what card kind of speaks to you the most, and then you talk about it. You get their reaction from it, you phrase them up, you help guide their thoughts up by just going through a particular card in the spread that happens to come up, guys. And then you leave them, you draw another spread, and their interpretation of it, your interpretation of it is really, really good. So that's how you use it with the cards. Now, let's talk about discovery journeys with the cards. I've done dozens of these, and let me explain just how cool it is to do it close to the hypnotic state. I mean, self-hypnosis is real, it's positive. I teach my clients how to do it. It's so quick, it's so easy, it's so wonderful. But to be able to get into what Simon calls, and a lot of people call it probably, I just never heard it referred to it to then, like journeying, is that what you call it, Simon? Journeying with the cards? Okay. Evie, we're gonna get to the past life stuff. Okay, I promise you. I'm gonna make a big note. Not that I have a lot to add about that with tarot, because I really, really don't. Let me just put this past life. Okay, great. Oh, I got a note there. Pathworking. That's it. God damn it. Pathworking. Simon is pathworking. Our first time I heard that phrase, guys, I was like, what in the crap is pathworking? So thank you. Apparently, literally, everybody knows in this chat room, everybody knows but me what that word is. So with I call it discovery journeying in the therapeutic chair. Now, anytime, this is the best way that I do path working with the cards, is to you got to go in with the right sorts and so that your brain processor is at the right brain wave. You want it in beta, you want it awake, but you want it low beta wave. And what that means is very, very relaxed. Okay? You're very, very relaxed. If you're just focused on your tarot card, right? If you're focused on your tarot card and you want to squeeze in a quick path working session, you're going to be more like high beta brainwave. Your processor is going to be processing at a different rate. And so it's measurable, it's science, it's just the way it goes. You want to sort of come down so that there's absolutely no stress. And that's low beta. That's just like two friends talking, and if you happen to be covering new information and it's really easy, you got your bourbon in front of you and you're enjoying your cigars out on the patio, you could be talking very relaxed and getting new information and be able to absorb it so much easier than whether there was like a raised steak. If you had to have your conversation with a friend that you haven't had and wrap things up because your Uber driver was coming in 5 minutes and you have so much to catch up on, you would retain a lot less information. You'd be a lot less able to stay focused on this particular conversation. And if it was like really, really, really highly still awake state, still beta, but high beta, where it was just like there was something really at stake, like you had to remember his phone number before he left and he was about to get in his Uber car, you would pretty much, there would be no chance in hell you'd be able to remember that. You couldn't get into it because your brain would be processing at a high beta rate. When you go into a journeying or a pathworking session and you are really relaxed, if you're in a hypnotic state, you're gonzo bonkers down there deep, man. But beta awake state is really, really good. So what you want to do is just sort of keep an eye fascination with a particular card. Simon likes that one card from the Japaritsi deck, which I just ordered because of him. Damn you to heck, Simon. So I'm looking forward to getting that deck and that particular card. But let's just say I want to find out what's going on with this guy. You know what I mean? I kind of like how he's like making life look like it's this dance. And there's always something low that's not working, but he puts more focus there. And then he just, and I kind of want to know what the hell is going on here. How you use the cards to utilize the hypnotic state as much as you can is to create this thing called an eye fascination. Number one, an eye fascination is how you get into hypnosis, how you get into the theta alpha crossover brainwave. And that's why in the movie theater, all the lights go out and then all you see is the screen. It's an eye fascination. There's nowhere else to look. You know what I mean? So you go straight into hypnosis. You know what I mean? And then you believe the characters like we talked about. That dragon is real. That car chase is real. Your heartbeat really goes in there. So whatever you do, or whatever you want to do a thing, you want to create an eye fascination. But before we do that, let me tell a story that just popped into my mind. I did scuba diving 5 years ago. It was my very first time I ever scuba dived. I'd never been more scared in my life. It was in Costa Rica. They don't have any rules down there, man, for any of this. It was before I was certified, before I knew a damn thing about it. They literally put something in your mouth and they push you over, and I was petrified. Because you're walking to the thing, guys, and you weigh like 95,000 pounds with the tank, and then you have a big weight belt on, and your flippers are all over the place, and the water's rocky. It's freaking terrifying. I went in the water. I was so stimulated. I had this thing called glass eye, where you're just really, really wide open. But my buddy came over to me. Actually, it was the dive master came over first, man. And what he did was he created an eye fascination, which is what you're going to do with these cards to give you the best journaling experience, pathworking experience that you're going to get. Is because I was so freaked out and I wasn't focused and I was so hyper, high beta, I was probably in hypnosis to the high end, but like totally like down here hypnosis, man. Down here like fight and flight. Like how in the frick am I going to breathe underwater? I've never done it before. My mind couldn't process it. So this dive master did this to me, which is what I'm going to tell you to do to the cards. He took his mask, his face, and he took it right up to me like this. And he just exaggerated his eyes. I couldn't see the water. I couldn't see the sky. I couldn't see the surface of the water and how freaking freaked out I was. All I saw his eyes like this. It was like being in a movie theater because his mask was touching my mask. It's all, and so just imagine if you're just looking at me, guys, like this. You're just looking at me. And then you got to go down a little bit. And I learned this 2 seconds before I was literally pushed over the deck. You blow, you see, and so you equalize your ears. And every single 3-4 feet you go down, you gotta blow. And so he would pull away slightly, and I'd get petrified because I then started to see the water around there and then the surface of the water going up there, right? And so I would see him just being so relaxed. That's called eye fascination. He hypnotized me because I was fascinated. So this is what you're gonna do with your cards, guys. Right, Jennifer? It's hilarious, but I was petrified. I may have peed myself, but I don't think that I did. So you take your cards, you get yourself nice and relaxed, guys. You get nice and relaxed. And what you do is you create a mask on mask, Jeff Burr, first time Costa Rica scuba diving experience. And that is all you do is focus on that card. And that creates sort of the lights going down, this pure fascination. And without doing the whole hypnosis thing and raising the arm and doing all this stuff, no, I was just up to the close. That's my thing. Hopefully I didn't freeze. And so whenever you do that and you just have that as the focus of your attention, that's why those 3D goggles are like completely enclosed, because once you're in it, man. You know what I mean? Those things where they put the iPhones in the thing and that straps around your head and then you're going through roller coasters and stuff while you're sitting there. It's really cool. So do that. Do that for your path working, and it'll be so much better. But you got to prep yourself up by just breathing down and breathing low. And if you just count down, hypnotherapists love the number 20, 20 steps, 20 pathway steps down there. And you just sort of come down. You just sort of come down. It tells your mind you're becoming more and more relaxed. You're becoming more and more and more and more low beta, so that whenever you step into the card, then it becomes more real. So that's how you meditate with the card, Simon. Not that I know of JR. What did JR ask? Completely focused. Perfect. Jeff is... I don't know about that. But thank you anyway. So that is... Okay, we're almost a quarter till, and I'm so happy with the timing that... and I'm so happy that it worked out like this. Oh yeah, something about podcasts. Yeah, my podcast will be starting up soon, guys. So hopefully, actually, if you're interested in podcasts or whatever, you can go to my website, tattooedspirit.com, and just get on my mailing list, and I'll let you know whenever, like, I start this stuff, because I just have a ball with it. I have a ball with it. So yeah, there's like a mailing list. Sign up to get letters and stuff. And I don't send you the shit, guys. I you know, it's technology, so I actually try to avoid it. I have somebody help me with that stuff. Right. So so that's that. That is that. What the hell else do I want to talk about? Before you pull your cards, guys, you got to, I'm not saying go into a full-on meditation, man. What you got to do is you got to relax a little bit. Because if you're coming in, I do have the gift of gab. I really do. I can go commentary for days, man. If you're coming in really high, then that means you're not having access to this higher self, because you're being pulled out of this like place where I think where you get this inspiration. Best mailing list pitch ever. I'll get around to that. Right, so get yourself feeling good, guys. Get yourself feeling good. You may have had the experience of going to a tarot card reader, and you can just tell they're one of those. You can just tell that they're one of those. And that's fair, man. We all go through that stuff. But whenever you're down there, you should not be doing your work. I have turned down clients because I know that if I'm pulling the cards, I'm seeing this like, you're going to drop that thing that you can't keep your focus on. And it's just like, it's completely unfair. It's completely, number one, untrue. It doesn't allow you to tap into the highest intention of the card that your higher self is trying to communicate with you. So that is really, really, really important, is to really get yourself feeling good, because you want to give your guys the truth. I'm not trying to talk happy and blowing unicorns and like rainbows up people's butts and stuff just to make them feel better. But the real science of it is that when you feel better, you attract a better future. It's just the way it goes. And we can talk the quantum mechanics of that fact. I'd rather answer your questions, but that is true. Get the people feeling better about their subjects, and they will walk out and they're going to come back to you guys. I'm telling you, I am saving a file of emails of my clients that says, and it all starts off the same way, and you're going to start collecting these too, guys. It says, you're not going to believe what happened to me. I have at least 30 of them that start off, you're not going to believe what happened to me, and usually within a week after the first session, because they don't make it such a big damn deal. What they were working for, what they were trying to get, what they were trying to accomplish. They just sort of like completely like chill the hell out. On that same note, this is a true story. It just happened. It just happened 3 days ago. I have a real close friend here. She's really super cool, but she was a bit lost for like the past year and a half after she got out of school. Couldn't find a job and was really in a bad place. And she was a pretty spiritual person. And she's just, I can't, you know, she did like this marketing thing that I don't understand how that whole thing works. And she tried to do this, tried to do that, and she couldn't get anything to work. She was down here, man. She was overwhelmed and she was down here. And I suggested, not through therapy, just as a friend, I said, why don't you don't have a job. You talked about your family down there. It was like South Africa. Why don't you take a damn trip and just forget about the world? And so she processed that for a few days. And then she booked a trip. And guys, cross my heart and hope to die. 2 hours after she booked a trip, she got a job offer in the text message, and she sent it to me straight away. $125,000 job offer in Santa Monica. And that's a true story. She got offered 2 hours after she booked it because she let it go. Because she stopped being down here. which is another fantastic tactic, guys, is that whenever you have 9 things going wrong in your life, you gotta focus on that one that brings you the most joy. You just have to. I talk about my motorcycle, my Harley Davidson, and Jack Daniel. Jack Daniel and my motorcycle, just 2 happy machines. Once I'm riding up into the coast, it's my happy machine. I'm forgetting about the things that I want to do. I'm forgetting the things I'm feeling down, and I'm just focused on appreciating what that sounds like, what that feels like, how much I enjoy doing it. I come back, and there's always a voicemail. Always, most always, 99% of the time, a new voicemail, a new speaking opportunity, a new client, and the list goes on, because I'm forgetting about the 10 things that are holding me down or the 9 things that are holding me down, but I'm just focused on appreciation. So that's another advice. Because people are going to come to you and they're going to be like, what do I do? What do I do? I got to get out of this rut. What do I do? The only goddamn thing they care about is doing something down here. And all they got to do about is thinking so that they feel a little bit better. And to distract yourself with one thing is perfect. I joke around with my other therapist friends that what we do is we just distract people from their own limitations. You know what I mean? We just distract people from their own belief systems. If there's a question, I'll answer a question, but I could be going for a while here. What did I just say? Belief systems. Belief systems. Yeah, we had talked about woo, the woo stuff about the I don't know who that was. I've been enjoying so many of our things, like like crystals, you know what I mean? Like, and cleansing your decks, and the rules about this, and the rules about that, and my take and my experience, and I'm excited to share this with you, is just like your life reacts to your beliefs about it, so does your tarot practice. I haven't cleaned this deck in 20 years, and I never felt that I needed to. But if I had the thought that I kept on thinking that I got to clean my deck on every full moon, my reality would be, life would show me that my beliefs were right, no matter what the hell I was thinking. To be like, after the full moon that I missed, that I didn't cleanse it, I wouldn't be able to read with it. Because it would be down here. If your deck's not clean, you can't read with it. And no matter how much I would try to will it in place, try it in place, do it in place, I wouldn't be able to read with it. So as far as woo's concerned and what your clients want to do with creating rituals, say if you believe it, then you have to do it. You know what I mean? So what's that? Yes, belief is powerful. Belief is just the thought you keep on thinking, which is why it's so nice to create a new belief just one thought at a time, and you believe it enough. And then your life says, well, if that's what you believe, I have to give it to you. I have to believe it to you. Do you think relationships are hard? I have to give that to you. You know what I mean? So let me get to a question. That's how you feel. It's the way it is. And so Lena, I'll just tell you that you're observing the life the way that it is. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, kudos to anyone that's observing life the way that it really is. So thank you so much. I'm going to scan up here, guys. Before I leave you in 10 minutes, I'm going to pass you off to Andrea from Chris Delirama. I would love to see you and your wife do a video together. Oh yeah, speaking of my wife real quick, she's and we actually have a TV crew coming in right now, taping something with her for past life regression expertise. I mean, she's been doing past life regression for 25 years. She's so renowned and has done everyone in Hollywood. You can't even believe who comes through our office every day, guys. Her practice is amazing. But as far as the eye fascination, the same thing as holding like the mask and all you see, or the movie theater, or the tarot card where that's all you see. If you could actually devise something where that's literally all you're looking at and the rest is black, that's the way you do it. For past life regressions, this is just really, really fun. It's themindcoach.com, Melody. Themindcoach.com. It's themindcoach.com. And so if you're in a historic place or someplace really cool and you just kind of think, wow, this is kind of like past life kind of situation and stuff like that, you just kind of do this with your hand and you block out everything else. Because if you're in a panoramic experience, because my family lives in South Carolina now, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they have these amazing plantations, lots of history there, a lot of dark history, obviously, with that, all that whole time. But if you're walking through a plantation or someplace really cool, you just kind of do that. And it blocks out everything else. And rather than being in the panorama of it, you create your own little panorama. And I'm telling you guys, you go places with that. You begin to see and experience that place as it was experienced in decades before. Let's get back to that past life question before we leave you. I'm so sorry. I have not been trying to themindcoach.com. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you very much. Could I get that question about past life a thing? Because I believe that whenever you at a very, very, very relaxed, I mean, to do tarot on hypnosis is just like you're off the moon on point. But whenever you're very relaxed, low beta, awake, totally like the awake beta state, but really relaxed and really, really open, really, really receptive to your higher self or wherever you're getting your information from. You can read your cards for your animals. You can read the cards as a communication from those who passed on. You can read the communication from your own aspects of your own self from your past lives. I've got a great past life story. The very first past life. Do we have time? I tell you, I'm going to tell you this past life story, guys, until I get a question popping up here, because it's like freaking amazing. And if you have any other questions about what I talked about, I just wanted a basic explanation of how it works. Are you talking about using cards? 10 minutes? Thank you, Simon. Are you talking about using cards with, discovering past lives? I'm going to say that it is, okay? I'm going to say that it is. You literally just can create your own spread. Of course, I use Post-it notes. First class all the way. And what I do, I like to meld 3 cards, which just you take whatever aspects of each of the 3 cards and you put it together, and you just create just a spread for yourself. Like, how about just like my biggest challenge that I overcome in my most significant life, and you just plop that down, and then you draw 3 cards, and let's do that right now. Let's do that right now. How about, because I'm not a big fan. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that where it is. But I'm just going to pull 3 particular random cards, and I'm not seeing any other questions because this is just kind of how it goes at the end of the sessions. We got 10 more left. Who's a hot mess? Veronica Jude. Unlikely. There we go. Well, you know what? Here, you get something like this. I don't know. It probably would have more meaning if you actually pulled it with intention. But you just kind of get these 3 cards. And like, what's my biggest challenge that I overcome in my most significant past life? I'm assuming it's involving something that you're reading now too. It's something about how you can get over challenges whenever you're amongst friends, but yet you do it alone. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the biggest challenge. Maybe that's the biggest lesson from your past life. And you can create whatever kind of position or spread that you want. How does systematic oppression factor into this law of attraction stuff? It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't, because we're all centers of our own attention. So that is a very, and this is not me on any sort of soapbox at all, but whenever you have experiences, I've had some pretty powerful experiences in the therapeutic offices where people that you probably wouldn't even believe their oppressions and what had happened to them with abuses, and just simply atrocious scenarios that have been not only systematically oppressed, but abused on every single level that you can imagine, and not because of the therapy that I've done with them. They come to me after it, and you hear their stories, and you hear that they've gotten out of those situations because they have embodied what it is to be a magician. Then you realize honestly just how powerful the lessons of the tarot are, with knowing that you are in control of everything. And I hope you don't think that that's like full of shit or something like that, but that is my experience. That is my belief, because that's a thought that I kept on thinking, and the world shows me more and more people who go against systematic oppressions and abuses that I promise, the things that I've heard in this office you can't even imagine, and they come out champions and heroes. So I don't really take anyone's argument for their limitation, because I haven't seen any that really held anyone back. I'm kind of the bullshit cutter of hypnotherapists that I know, because that's everyone's first defense, is to say, this is why things are bad for me. And I have absolutely no interest. I don't care, because I know where you can be. I do believe that the great masters saw everyone that they came, that came to them as completely whole and completely fine. And it was their belief in them that changed them, Tell us your story, please. Oh, this past life regression story? All right, real quick. We got 5 minutes left. This is actually going to be a really good story. My very first past life regression client it was in the course that my wife certified, because she certifies past life regression therapists. It was actually in the course. So I did it as a student. It was my first one. Oh, timing on this is going to be so delicious, guys. This is going to be so delicious. I'm just milking this. I am milking this timing. I was so nervous about the timing. I'm going to milk every second of it. So good. So here we go. I had heard just through talking to her, because we just became friends in her class, that she had this it was like a tinnitus in her ear, and she just couldn't get rid of it, and also that she couldn't find a relationship, that she liked the opposite sex, and she just didn't have an interest in relationships. She just didn't have an interest in relationships. And she wanted to know why, and maybe it was a past life. Now, going back in your past life, you don't really know if it's your past life or somebody else's past life, is my opinion. You're just gathering the information from a past life from somewhere in the universe somewhere that your mind is reaching for and accessing, because it's matching your vibration to give you the answers to the inquiry that you have. That's my experience with it, okay? So she went back to a time where she was a diver, whenever diving was very, very new. Okay, that's whenever they were like cranking stuff like this, cranking the air down. And as she got into her body on the dock, her ear popped in real life in front of me. And that was amazing, because no doctors could really figure out what was going on and why is tinnitus and one ear and all this stuff like. So her ear popped. And it turns out that in that particular life, that whether you believe in it or not, or you believe that her mind made that up for her to help get over this thing she wanted to know about, it turned out that because diving was so new, nobody kind of wanted to partner up with a diver, because they were dying so frequently because it was so dangerous. So what actually happened is that in her past life, she was a male, and his fiance broke up with him because she said, look, it's either diving or me, and he chose diving. And so that was really, really cool and fascinating, because it was like 3 months after the class, then she met a guy, and now they're married, and like I think expecting a baby right now. And this is someone I know in my social circle right now. So that is the most profound, very first past life experience that I have. But if you want a past life experience, and if you live in the area, if you live in Southern California, it's worth the drive. Anytime you're visiting, you have to look up themindcoach.com, because Michelle has been doing it for 25 years, and she knows everything about everything, and her experiences are beyond crazy, and her TV show will be on soon about that as well. So anyway, I have 3 more minutes. I believe you will be able to watch this later. Yes, Miles, I'm going to keep this on for a while. Probably not forever, but I'll be on at least a couple days. There's Andrea Cristalirama. That's in my description box is her link. You just saw her, that's Cristalirama. You can click on her head, Crystal. Whenever you're up, just click to just let everyone know that we're up, and then we'll all click on your face, and then we'll go to your site, and then I can sit back and take a little breather and relax, because I know that I was talking so much, guys. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Enjoy. Kay, I just enjoy you guys so much. I hope you really got the idea that you can create change in people's lives with using these cards, beyond just entertaining them with how they also work for telling them that they're going to end up in the same place if they don't turn their wheel, okay, from the parking lot example. That was fun. I had fun too. I know. I'm a fast talker, man. I am a fast talker. Thank you so much. It has been amazing. Thank you, Spiral. Thank you. Look at all those hearts. That's wonderful. I'm just going to hang in here. I'm just going to take a little breather. My little skull guy is going to say goodbye. Thanks for hanging out. Jack is going to say, this was a great time being involved with you guys. Hopefully I smell a lot less skunk whenever Dad comes home. That was an outrageous experience. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Ladybird and Teresa. Jeff, I see you as the wand, sir. I am definitely, there's some fire going on in there. There's some fire. All right. Ciao, guys. Transfer over. I can't wait. I'll see you guys there. I'm not leaving. I'm going straight there. I'm going straight there. I'm going to click on your face right now. Clock me out. Or not. That was great. All right. I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up. I'm past the hour. I'm out, kids. Goodbye. Stop streaming. Adios.